Hi, my name is Andrea Landry Brown, and I am the host of this wonderful talk show, We Are One. I have 2 beautiful grown sons and 5 rambunctious grandchildren and 2 bonus grandchildren that I get to share with my wonderful husband. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I live with bipolar disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder. The diagnosis was given to me back in 2006. And my road of recovery has been the inspiration for this wonderful talk show. See, when I was first diagnosed, I was blindsided and just lost. Without any education, there was no information on what this was, how I got it, how I could give it back, or anything. So I worked tirelessly trying to find out what to do to take care of me and the individual that I could be to function in life. And when I started getting out there and learning more about mental illness, I found that I'm not the only one who feels this way. There are so many people out there who have no clue what mental illness is, or how they got the diagnosis, or if they could give it back or not. And you notice I keep saying that because who wants this particular gift? Anywho, so I created this talk show that is directed towards those of us who live with mental illness, as well as our family, our friends, our loved ones, and anyone else out there who is interested on not only the diagnosis, but how to function. And yes, we are out there. We are amongst you. We are walking around in crowds and mingling and working and living our lives and just being the best that we can be. So, now that I've given you a little bit of an introduction about this show, welcome, 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 and come back often. We plan to do this every Saturday, 3 p.m. sharp. So, hope to see you, and we're going to go ahead to the next segment. So, during our introductory episode, I would like to introduce you to our 2 guests. The first of our 2 guests is Mr. Tyrell Moyd. He is an executive director over at P.O.W.E.R North on North Carey Street here in Baltimore, Maryland. And he's going to tell you a little bit about his program, who he is as an individual, and the importance of peer support. So welcome, Tyrell. Good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
And could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Yes, I'm Tyrell Moyd, the director of the Baltimore Recovery Corps. I oversee and facilitate the core curriculum class and about 4 supplemental classes needed for those who are interested in becoming certified peer recovery coaches in the state of Maryland.
Okay, can you give us an idea of the importance of becoming a certified peer recovery coach?
The importance is we want to make sure that our profession is professional. So the training classes actually give those who are seeking to work with other individuals in recovery, give them the tools necessary to be able to offer those particular skills on a professional level.
Okay, and why is it so important to be or to have peer support?
Peer support is becoming more, we're finding that it's more needed than some may have thought, where those who are seeking treatment and for their recovery from addictions and their mental health and wellness, having a peer support who have sort of walked the roads that they've walked is vitally important because it gives them hope, encouragement in ways that others who haven't traveled that actual same road, it gives them that additional support from someone actually, again, who's walked down the same roads that they are.
Peer support has definitely been a huge thing for me as well. I mean, there's no way I could be on this huge road that I've traveled over the last, 6 years. It's been 6 years.
no, 10 years. It's been 10 years. Wow. Without having some type of peer support. Can you tell us a little bit about the classes, the CPRS class that you facilitate?
So the main class, the core curriculum, is the Recovery Coach Academy class. It's a week-long class. So just from the beginning, those who were willing to take off a week from work, some with and some without pay, in itself shows a great commitment of the individuals who are coming through who want to get the training. So that particular core curriculum is Monday through Friday. It's a 40-hour-a-week class where we touch on so many issues that may come up during one's working with individuals in recovery. And we found that even after that week-long class, ongoing support from other recovery coaches in the community is also important, because it also strengthens what's learned in the class, those basic skills that one gets. And then the additional supplemental classes layer in what was taught in the core curriculum in the various domains.
I remember when I took that class, it was so enlightening, and it helped me to come forward in so many things as far as boundaries. Boundaries was always a big thing for me, as well as going forward in what some of my goals were. So we want to give a shout out to Penn North Recovery Center. You want to tell us a little bit about Penn North?
Yes, so I'm employed by Penn North Community Resource Center, Penn North Recovery Center, and here we have various programs working with individuals, again, in recovery. We have our clinical services where individuals can go and get treatment. We are a holistic center, so instead of substituting one drug for another, we are an abstinence program. But we treat individuals with Tai Chi, yoga, and our main focus is acupuncture. So utilizing some sort of Eastern pathways to recovery versus the Western medicines to recovery. We also have a housing program where we house men and women. We have our resource center where we offer GED class, computer literacy class, and other supplemental support systems, because what we realize is once a person is treated and they begin to make that life change of recovery, then they need to rebuild themselves. So they may need to go get job skills. We have an essential skills class because if someone hasn't worked for 20 or 30 years, going back in the workforce can be a frightening experience for them, and they don't know what to expect. So we have our essential skills class that sort of prepares them for getting back into the workforce. We have a parenting program. So we have various programs to help support individuals in their recovery beyond just being treated for their addiction.
Wow. I knew the center was important. I didn't realize you guys had all of those programs. That's just awesome. I would like to come back at some point in time and highlight the center when we have our referrals and references show. Would that be would that be okay?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm so happy. Thank you guys.
And welcome back. So, our next guest is the extraordinarily wonderful Miss Carla Debnam. She's going to give us an explanation of the importance of therapy, and not just therapy for mental illness, but therapy in general, to help us dispel that stigma behind that word. Miss Carla. Hello, Carla. How are you today?
I'm fine.
It's so great to be here with you today at the Renaissance Center. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a licensed clinical professional counselor. I'm the executive director of the Renaissance Center, and we've been in existence for 15 years, which I'm very proud of that. And I'm a wife and mother and grandmother.
Fantastic. Well, I know you as the beautiful bishop's wife here at the church at Morning Star Baptist Church. And the Renaissance Center has so many wonderful programs here. Can you share a little bit about what it is you do here?
We offer professional counseling to the community, to the church. So We have a variety of services we provide: individual counseling, family counseling, therapy for children, adults, couples, premarital. We even do like ministers in training before they give their initial sermon. They have to come, through here to get, some mental health therapy. Well, it's not therapy, but just mental health awareness so that they can be better able to minister to others. So we do a variety of things. We do workshops. We host workshops here, or we go in the community and present workshops on bereavement, grief, stress, anything usually that the church or community organization requests. We can present on those topics, whether it's men's issues, women's issues, domestic violence, child abuse, all those kinds of topics we can present on. And relationships, a lot of times people come here because they're strained in their marital relationships or their relationships with their children, or even in their workplace. So we accept employee assistance programs as well.
Mm-hmm. So what is the importance of therapy? Let's say in regular relationships, and then we'll cover the mental health part. What is the importance of therapy?
The importance of therapy, it helps to bring clarity to the situation. So sometimes people have a difference of opinions, different views, they're raised differently. They have so many challenges or barriers to communication. So I would think with relationships, communication is the key, and we can help people, whether it's parent-child, in couples, marriages, in families in general. We can help those persons learn to communicate.
So therapy basically in those aspects is a great way to help people understand one another, to help their backgrounds meld into one another when their communication efforts are so different.
Yes, therapy can help in that regard with those relationships, because many times people come because they have a misunderstanding and they have a third party to run things by, to have a neutral zone, so to speak, to come in and also give you tools to take with you to incorporate in your daily life. That's the importance of therapy in relationships.
And I'm so glad that you said that. I remember the first time I saw a therapist, I think I was about 14, and I was so scared because the stigma was so big. I always remember one flew over the cuckoo's nest, and I thought when I was told, you need to go to therapy, like, oh my God, am I crazy all of a sudden? And my therapist was like, no, I just want you to see that I'm somebody who is not so much in love with you, but I can give you an objective point of view, and you just cleared that up so much that our audience out there needs to know that too, as far as the stigma behind therapy, because when you mention therapy, it's like a huge fear that comes over, and that needs to be more understood. So how about on the mental health side? When someone has a diagnosis, again, there's that stigma. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to be in the hug me jacket forever. What do I do now? What makes therapy important for those of us who live with mental health issues?
For those of us who have a mental health diagnosis and a mental illness, therapy is important because here again it can equip you to understand more of yourself. So now you know why you act the way you do, or why your response to certain things are the way they are, or why people interact with you the way they interact with you. You get a better understanding of yourself. So that's the importance when you have a mental illness. Also, it helps you, once you understand who you are as a person, it helps you to be able to relate to others, and then even have an understanding of why they may perceive you or receive you in the manner in which they receive you. But most of all, it's really to strengthen you in the process of handling the mental health challenge, because it is a challenge, it is a struggle, and you need a support system. And part of the support system for someone with mental illness is therapy. It's not just meds or your family or even your church family. You also need a professional to run things by, to get that support, to again bring clarity and direction.
Beautiful. So, real quick, what are some of the tools you would give someone with mental health, with a mental health diagnosis?
I would give them, first, we would discuss what do they want out of life. What are their goals? Why are you here? We know you have a mental illness, a mental health diagnosis, but what do you want to see out of the communications that take place when you're in therapy? Because if the person doesn't buy into the need to be here, they won't continue to come.
Exactly.
And then also they have to see what's in it for me. Well, I want to have more friends, or I want my marriage to improve, and I know my mental illness isn't helping that. So I try to help them see what they want, why it's best for them to be here. Then after we get through that, we, homework. So I believe in giving people homework.
Wow, homework.
Yes, so maybe the homework is, read up on cognitive distortions. Which ones do you do the most? Do you think in black and white? Do you overgeneralize? Do you, what do you do when in response to things that are going on in your life? And then how to bring that back in, into a place where you're not overgeneralizing. You're not just doing black and white thinking. You're not, doing some of the things, the coping mechanisms aren't the same. So homework helps with that. It's also psychoeducational, because sometimes people get a mental health diagnosis but don't know what it means.
Exactly.
And so they feel that something strange is happening without an explanation. So if you come in and we say, okay, you're depressed, you're anxious, I'm like, you already know that, but you don't really know what that means sometimes as the patient. So giving them information to read at home. This is what it means to be depressed. It's good for you to know. You can take it home for your loved ones to read so they can understand what you're going through. And a lot of it is that. So some of those tools, besides, whether it's breathing techniques, just various tools, and it really depends on the person that's sitting in front of you.
Right, exactly. I am so happy that you brought up the fact that you wanted them to be involved, the individual to be involved in their treatment.
Yes.
So many therapists do not bring that up automatically. At least I know for myself. I myself live with bipolar disorder, and I remember the first time when I was diagnosed and there was no explanation or anything, and it was just such a terrifying feeling. So the fact that you brought that up first and foremost, you need to be involved in your treatment. It is so essential to what therapy means, and we thank you. Thank you so much for the interview, Carla. It has been a pleasure meeting with you.
Thank you.
I hope to see you again
Hope
soon.
to see you again too.
Whew, we got through it. Wow, our first show. What'd you guys think? I hope you all enjoyed it just as much as I did. This was such an exciting experience for me, and I can't wait till we can continue to do this through the rest of our shows that we have for each week. Please take the knowledge that you've gotten today, process it, utilize it, do whatever you need to. Leave a comment. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what subjects you would like for me to cover so that we can get the message out there, get the word out there that we are one, we are wonderful, we are excellent, and we are here to stay. Thanks, guys. See you next week.